Welcome back to the BBQ Beautiful podcast, where we talk about all things smoked meat and so much more, including hilarious stories about our farm to table lifestyle and our love of the outdoors. I'm your host, Trevor. Be sure to tune in until the end of today's episode for this week's feature recipe and how to qualify for the BBQ Brag to Win giveaway contest. Episode 6. Let's do this. Today we're diving into a topic that I love and is a big part of my life: hunting and wild game meat. I'm Trevor. That's right, we're talking about everything from the first sight of a moose, elk, or deer in the woods to the last mouth-watering bite of a perfectly grilled steak. So crack open a cold drink and let's get into it. Kicking things off, let's talk about the thrill of the hunt. Picture this. You're a grown adult, but it feels like Christmas morning, putting on your camo and loading the gear into the truck. There's something about being out in the woods, surrounded by nothing but trees, and guess what? Silence. For me, it's one of the few chances I get away from the grind and the noise of everyday life. Every rustle of leaves could be the next big trophy, or it could just be your buddy trying to sneak up on you and scare you. Either way, it keeps your heart racing. Now, hunting is about more than just the kill. It's about the entire experience. Time with your friends and family. The kind of camaraderie you can't replicate at a bar. You sit around a campfire, swapping stories about the one that got away. And let's be honest, every hunter has a story that starts with, "You won't believe how big it was." Sure, it might grow a bit in the telling, but who's keeping score? Preparing for your hunt. This is key. You can't just throw on a camo jacket and head into the woods like you're off to grab a sandwich. It requires planning. First up, you've got to scout the right location. Unless you're going to be a truck hunter driving the back roads, hoping and praying something jumps out and jumps right into the box of your truck, you better get out there early and start scouting. Then there's the gear to consider. Hunting is not a cheap hobby by any means. By the time you invest in all the gear, rifle, bow, tent, stove, quad, on and on and on. Cabela's is like the old Sears Christmas wish book for dads. The next best piece of hunting equipment is popping up all the time. Pro tip: check your hunting license and tags before you leave the house. There's nothing worse than that sinking feeling when you realize you've left your permit behind. And trust me, you're going to want that. Now let's not forget snacks. You can't go hunting on an empty stomach. Bring some jerky, leftover Halloween candy. Just think about the time of year. The season opens for us here. Always big bags of leftover Halloween candy, and it's perfect to have with you. And maybe a couple of smoked meat sandwiches. That way, if you don't bag anything, at least you can enjoy some delicious snacks while you're out there pretending to be an expert hunter. All right, we've arrived at the moment of truth. The moment every hunter lives for. You see your target, your heart races, and it feels like time slows down. It's just you and that deer, or is it an elk, or a huge bull moose? You draw your bow or take aim with your rifle, and suddenly, it's all on the line. Now, coming from a guy that's hunted his whole life, there's only two options here: a successful harvest or a missed opportunity. Let's start with a missed opportunity. This is easy. Lick your wounds, have a snack, regroup, and continue the hunt. But if you successfully harvested the animal, in reality that was the easy part. Now the work begins. It's like starting a clock to get the animal field dressed and start the cooling process. So you've bagged your game, now what? Getting the guts out of the animal as soon as possible and getting the animal cut into manageable sized pieces. This depends greatly on if you're packing the animal out on your back or not. It's really just a way to prepare your meat for transport. Pro tip: wear clothes you don't mind getting bloody. This isn't a fashion show, it's hunting. And remember, precision is key. You want to do this right or you'll end up with more guts than meat. Once back at home, it's time for the butchering. You can take your game to a professional butcher, or you can do it yourself to get exactly the cuts you want for the pit and save a little cash at the same time. Now, there's a couple different options here. Do you have a cooler at home to hang your own meat? How long do you want to hang it for? Or is it going straight on the table and the butchering process starting up? If you're going the do it yourself route, just make sure you have the right tools. Sharp knives, cutting boards, plenty of paper towels for those inevitable spills. There's tons of online resources to get you started. Watch a few videos first and see if it's something that even interests you. As you break down the meat, think about all the cuts you can make: steaks, roasts, sausages. The possibilities are endless. You've got to get creative, maybe even consider trying different cuts than usual. Ever thought about making wild game tacos? Now's your chance. And let's be real, every time you grill steaks, you can casually drop, yeah, I harvested, butchered, and cooked that. Now for the fun part, cooking it. Wild game meat is often leaner than what you find in the store, so you'll want to approach it a little differently. First, try marinating it. Think garlic, rosemary, a splash of whiskey. Who says you can't have a drink while cooking? Dry brine, an absolute favorite of mine. Start putting this in practice. I talk about it in every episode. When it comes to cooking techniques, think grilling, smoking, slow roasting, braising, you name it. If you've got a good smoker, you're golden. There's nothing quite like the smell of wild game meat slow cooking over hardwood. It'll make your neighbors wonder what you're up to and probably make them a bit jealous. But remember, seasoning is key. A good rub can elevate your game meat from meh to holy smokes, what is this? So don't be shy with the spices. Check out the lineup of BBQ Beautiful seasonings and rubs. They're great on wild game meat. Now let's dig a little deeper into some specific techniques. Grilling. If you're grilling, consider direct heat for steaks and indirect heat for larger cuts like roasts. Wild game meat can dry out quickly, so keep an eye on temperature and aim for a medium rare. And remember that it continues to cook for a bit after you take it off the grill, so make sure you plan for that. Smoking. If you're into smoking, think about using fruit woods like apple or cherry for a sweet, mild flavor that complements the meat. A good rule of thumb is to smoke at 225. You can get all the way up to 275 depending on the cut. And remember, low and slow is a practice of patience. Sous vide? Yes, you can even go modern with sous vide. This technique allows you to cook your meat evenly and lock in moisture. Season it well, vacuum seal it, and let it sit in a water bath before finishing on the grill for that perfect crust. Slow cooking. Don't overlook the slow cooker for tougher cuts. Toss in some broth, onions, mushrooms, potatoes, spices, and let it work its magic. You'll have pulled wild game meat that's perfect for sandwiches, tacos, or piled high on a bed of mashed taters. We've got our game meat ready now. Let's talk about the sides. You can't have a wild game feast without some killer accompaniments. Think roasted vegetables, creamy coleslaw, a hearty potato salad, and don't forget about bread to soak up all those delicious juices. For drinks, you can't go wrong with a nice craft beer or a robust red wine, but let's avoid anything too sweet here. You want something that complements the meat, not overpowers it. And if you're feeling adventurous, whip up a wild game inspired cocktail. Picture this: a hunter's mule, made with homemade ginger beer. Trust me, it won't be horrible. Here are a few side dishes that pair beautifully with wild game meat. Wild rice pilaf. A hearty rice pilaf with nuts and dried fruits adds a nice texture and flavor contrast. Grilled asparagus. Simple, seasonal. Grilled asparagus drizzled with balsamic reduction is a crowd pleaser anywhere you go. A root vegetable mash. Your mashed potatoes are great, but why not mix it up with some parsnips, carrots, It's earthy and pairs well with the richness of wild game. Once you've got your spread ready, it's time to invite some friends over for a successful hunting barbecue party. There's something primal about gathering around the grill, sharing food, and swapping stories. Make it a potluck so everyone brings their best dish. You'll have everything from wild rice to bacon wrapped anything to the fresh harvested meat. Set up some cornhole, horseshoes, or even a guess that cut of meat contest. Just make sure no one brings store bought burgers to a wild game party. You'll never live it down. You want to build a reputation for killer barbecue, not a bad taste in meat. Here's some party games and activities as ideas for your party. Meat guessing game. Blindfold your guests and have them guess the type of meat they're tasting. This can lead to some pretty hilarious responses. Grilling competition. Set up a friendly competition for the best barbecue sauce or marinade, the best cut of meat. Winner gets bragging rights and maybe a trophy. Wild game trivia. Create a trivia game focused on hunting and wild game facts. This could cover everything from the best hunting practices to interesting animal behaviors. Just be prepared for your friends to argue over who knows more about a deer mating call. Or the best, and it's probably the simplest, just set up some lawn chairs in the shop or garage, have some delicious food, and copious amounts of adult beverages. After all the feasting, laughter, and maybe a few questionable dance moves, it's time to reflect. Hunting and cooking your old wild game is more than just a hobby. It's a way to connect with nature, your friends, and that inner ancestor we all have. You've embraced the outdoors, learned new skills, and hopefully filled your freezer with some top notch meat. And let's be real, there's a sense of pride that comes with it. You didn't just walk into the grocery store, you put in some work. So next time someone asks where your steak comes from, lean back, puff out your chest, and say, I got that myself, for some instant respect. Now let's take a minute to discuss something important, the sustainability aspect. Hunting isn't just about filling your freezer. It's also about being a responsible steward of the land. Game management is crucial for maintaining healthy populations and ecosystems. By participating in regulated hunting, you're helping to balance wildlife populations and contribute to conservation efforts. Plus, wild game is often healthier than farm meat. Fewer hormones, more natural diets. It's a win-win. So when you're out there hunting, remember you're part of something bigger. You're not just getting dinner, you're supporting a sustainable lifestyle. If you're feeling inspired and want to get started in hunting, here are a few resources to help you on your journey. Check out local hunting clubs. Many areas have hunting clubs that offer mentorship programs. Joining one can connect you with experienced hunters who can share valuable tips and guidance. Hunting courses. Consider taking a hunter safety course. It's a requirement in many places and a great way to learn the basics. Wild game cookbooks. Pick up a cookbook specifically focused on wild game. They can provide you with new ideas and recipes. They will make your mouth water and elevate your culinary skills. Online communities. Check out forums and social media groups dedicated to hunting and wild game cooking. These communities are full of passionate individuals ready to share tips, recipes, and stories. All right, folks, that about wraps up hunting and wild game barbecue. I hope you're feeling inspired to grab your gear, head out into the woods, and maybe even try your hand at cooking something a little outside the box. Remember, whether you're a seasoned hunter or a curious novice, there's always something new to learn and taste. Hunting isn't just about filling your freezer, it's about embracing the experience, respecting the animals, and enjoying the fruits of your labor with friends and family. Until next time, keep those grills hot, spirits high, and never stop exploring the great outdoors. And remember, life's too short for bad barbecue. Today's feature recipe is tomahawk moose chops. Moose steaks. Absolutely delicious. High on the recommendation list if you've never given these a shot. Now, when you think of steaks, you're probably picturing beef, pork, or maybe even venison. But moose has a flavor all its own. It's leaner and richer than beef, but still tender and juicy when cooked right. Today we're going to talk about why moose steaks are so good. Give this recipe a try and let us know what you think. First off, let's talk about the moose itself. These animals are absolutely massive. A good bull moose can weigh well north of 1,000 pounds. And their steaks are packed with lean, flavorful meat. Moose meat is often considered one of the cleanest game meats because moose are herbivores and feed on wild grasses, shrubs, and leaves. As a result, their meat is very pure, has an earthy taste, and reflects the natural diet of these big, beautiful animals. Now, make sure when you are butchering your moose to cut some tomahawk chops and cook on a special occasion. Because how often do you see a good tomahawk moose chop in the grocery store? If you're not butchering your own, make sure you request the butcher shop cut you some tomahawk chops. When cooking moose steaks, you got to be careful. They're much leaner than beef, which means they can dry out quickly if overcooked. So cooking to medium rare is the recommendation here. But again, cook to your liking. Alright, let's get into today's recipe. Pan-seared tomahawk moose steaks. What you're gonna need: moose steaks, as many as you need for as many people as you are cooking for. Recommend 1 to 2 inches thick, 4 tablespoons olive oil, 4 cloves garlic minced, 1 tablespoon fresh rosemary finely chopped or 1 teaspoon dried, 1 tablespoon balsamic vinegar, 1 tablespoon soy sauce, 1 teaspoon Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon Worcestershire, 1 teaspoon hot sauce, salt and pepper to taste, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter. Now there's going to be 2 different options. This is the ingredients for the marinade. Or, for a more clean and natural moose flavor, simply season your steaks with barbecue beautiful base layer and place in fridge uncovered overnight to dry brine. If you're going to go with this method, skip down to step 2. So step 1, marinate the steaks. In a shallow dish or a Ziploc bag, combine the marinade ingredients. Place the moose steaks in the marinade, coat them thoroughly, and let them marinate overnight in the fridge. This step helps tenderize the meat while infusing it with the flavors. Step 2, prep the pan. Once the steaks have marinated or dry brined, remove from the fridge and let them come to room temperature. This helps them cook more evenly. Heat a large cast iron skillet or heavy bottom pan over medium heat. Very important, you want that pan to be nice and hot so you get that beautiful sear on the meat that you're looking for. 3, add a little bit of oil to the hot pan. Then place the steaks in carefully, making sure not to overcrowd the pan. Don't jam pack it full so they're all touching and there's a whole bunch of moisture leaking out and boiling the steaks and turning them gray. Keep some good space in between the steaks so you get that great sear you're looking for. Sear each steak for about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on the thickness of your steaks and how you like your meat cooked. For medium rare, you're looking for an internal temperature of about 130. If you're using a meat thermometer, this will help you nail the perfect temp. Finish with butter. Highly recommend this as well. Just add a tablespoon of butter to the pan. In the last minute of cooking, let it melt and baste the steaks. This is going to give them that glossy finish, make them look so nice and delicious, and then enhance the flavor with all that delicious butter. Very important step here, step 5, rest, then serve. So once your steaks are cooked to your liking, remove them from the pan and let rest for a few minutes. This helps the juices redistribute and keeps the meat nice and tender. Serve your moose steaks with roasted mashed potatoes and a Caesar salad. The marinade provides a balance of savory, sweet, and slightly tangy flavors that complement the rich, earthy taste of moose, while the dry brine method lets the moose flavor be the star of the show. Give both of these a shot and let us know what you think. Okay, it's time for our barbecue giveaway that we're calling Barbecue Brag to Win. One lucky listener will win some amazing barbecue merch that'll take your outdoor cooking to a whole new level. Whether you're a backyard beginner or a seasoned pit master, this giveaway is going to be for you. So what's up for grabs? First, a Barbecue Beautiful bundle. This includes one Barbecue Beautiful base layer, honey heat, brisket rub, and a spicy chimney from our lineup of seasonings and rubs. Next, one t-shirt and hat of your choice from the Barbecue Beautiful website, www.barbecuebeautiful.ca. And of course, there's going to be free shipping. How to enter? First, make sure you're subscribed to the Barbecue Beautiful podcast on your favorite podcast platform. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode or an announcement. Next, connect with us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok at Barbecue Beautiful. Then share our latest episode on your stories or feed, and don't forget to tag us. Use the hashtag Barbecue Brag to Win. BBQ BRAGTOWIN. This way we can easily find your posts. Finally, drop a comment on our giveaway post telling us about your favorite barbecue recipe, or share your best barbecue tip, pictures, or videos. And here's the kicker. For each additional entry you want to earn, simply engage with us. Like and share the posts, comment on our episodes, or even send us a voice message with your barbecue questions or stories. The more you interact, the more chances you have to win. So get creative and show us your barbecue. Let's talk about the timeline. You have until the 25th of each month to enter. Mark your calendars because we'll be announcing the first winner on November 29th. You don't want to miss it, and who knows, it could be you. Why are we putting on this giveaway? Well, we want to express our thanks to each and every one of you who tunes in each week. Your support means the world, and this giveaway is our way of giving back to this amazing barbecue community that we're building together. And we really do want to hear from you. So what topics do you want us to cover in future episodes? Are there any barbecue legends or techniques you want us to dive into? Share your thoughts in the comments when you enter the giveaway. This is all about community, and we want to make sure that we're bringing the content you all love. So to recap, subscribe to the podcast, follow us on social, share our latest episode using hashtag Barbecue Brag to Win, and comment on our giveaway post. It's that easy. Get excited because this is your chance to elevate your barbecue game with some awesome gear. Good luck to everyone out there, and may the best griller win.